Yo, welcome to Simply Bitcoin Live, your number one source for the peaceful Bitcoin revolution with the code-breaking news, culture, matic warfare. Will be your guide through the separation of money and state. And today is one of those episodes where we're going to talk about the separation of money and state. We're going to talk about the Restrict Act, or the infamous or so-called TikTok ban, right? To the point that it was actually covered yesterday on Tucker Carlson Tonight, which happens to be the second most popular broadcaster in America, 3.5 million average viewers per episode, second to Joe Rogan, right? And he was covering it. But it's interesting, a couple things that are happening at the same time, right? We know how the Biden administration feels about the industry. We've been covering Operation Choke Point 2.0 for the last couple of months. And we also know how they took advantage of the FTX blowup, the banking insecurity, to justify a lot of their actions, right? In the hopes of isolating or stopping the adoption of Bitcoin, at least in the United States, right? Well, this is something very similar, right? They're taking advantage of TikTok, which a lot of people, think of TikTok as this secret Chinese app that's like brainwashing people all over America, which, maybe that's true. But I'll tell you this, do we really want to live in a country where the government is deciding what apps you can download and what apps you can't download, not to mention all the powers that this bestows? If this act passes, this bestows an unelected bureaucrat in the US government. Keep in mind, this is not a partisan act. Like this isn't like the Elizabeth Warren that was introduced, the Elizabeth Warren Act that was introduced. This is bipartisan. So there's Republicans and Democrats that are signed up to this thing. It's pretty scary, the language, and it will affect Bitcoin, the way that it's phrased, which makes you think, right? Was this just another perfect excuse? We know how the administration feels about this, feels about the industry. Take a look at the presidential or, the White House economic report, right? They dedicated 20 pages to making the case as to why central banking is necessary, why Bitcoin fails as a currency, and why you need a state to have a currency, right? So, again, I always say this, lots of coincidences, lots of things happening, at very similar times. So we have the breakdown for you guys today. We're going to get into the details. We have the sauce like we always do. But first, I want to bring on my awesome, optimistic co-host, wakes up with a smile every single morning. How you doing, Opti?
I'm doing great. Doing wonderful, Nico. Yeah, man, I'm excited to get into the details of this. I only have a loose understanding of everything going on, so I'm excited for Nico Jones to be on the case. And honestly, I'm more hyped that we have LeRon on today, because he's a lot more Leron. Sorry, my bad. He's a lot more technical than I am, so I'm sure we're going to get some really great takes from him. And then, of course, we're going to feature Leron on the culture and see what he's been working on, get a little grasp from a more technical perspective of everything going on in the Bitcoin field right now. So let's bring him in.
100%. We used to call Leron, and we still do. Leron is Simply Bitcoin's technical correspondent. Welcome back, Leron.
Hey guys, it's good to be back. How's it going?
Happy to have you. Where you been, bro? I've missed you.
Staying busy, man. Just working, staying busy. It's never ending.
Absolutely.
It really isn't.
It really, really isn't. Anyways, everybody, let's start the show. Let's do this.
The Bitcoin numbers.
Brought to you by NODL. At this point, you should be running your own Bitcoin node. If you don't use your own Bitcoin node, you're trusting someone else's. Run your own version of Bitcoin Core, the Lightning Network, Whirlpool, and Dojo, all from the comfort of your own home. And if you're a digital nomad, you have absolutely no excuse, because now you can run a NODL through a virtual private server. Visit nodl.eu today. All right, guys, I want to tell you about Bitcoin 2023. It's going to be the biggest Bitcoin conference on the face of the earth. May 18th through the 20th, Miami Beach, Florida, 2023. You can use discount promo code SIMPLY to get yourself a 10% discount on the tickets. Let's go through some of the speaker lists. We have Michael Lewis, Arthur Hayes, Michael Saylor, Jack Mahlers, Casey, creator of Ordinals, Alex Gladstein, Stacey Herbert, Preston Pish, Greg Foss, Matt Odell, Lynn Alden, Robert Breedlove, Jeff Booth, Samson Mao, Corey Clipson, NVK, Caitlin Long, and many, many more. You don't want to miss the biggest Bitcoin celebration ever. Bitcoin 2023, promo code simply at the time of recording. The Bitcoin price is 26,895. Sats per dollar, 3,718. Block height, 782,913. Reachable Bitcoin nodes, 17,661. Blocks to halvening, 57,087. Halving estimate, April 21st, 2024. Total Lightning Network capacity, 5,397.4 Bitcoin. Capacity value, 145 million US dollars. Realized monetary inflation, 1.76%. And the market capitalization of Bitcoin, $520.3 billion with the B. Anyways, I want to cover this today. Opti's ex-girlfriend, Christine Lagarde, saying the quiet part out loud. But before we play that, I actually want to play you guys a video of, I think they got a Zoomer, and I think she's convincing people to use the digital euro. I want to play that for you guys, and we'll talk about it, and then we'll listen to what Christy has to say. Let's check it out.
1 year ago, we started exploring what a digital euro may look like. Our research isn't complete yet, but here's what we can already tell you about the digital euro. 1. You would be able to make payments quickly and safely. But how is that different from the way people currently pay? Well, with the digital euro, you'd be using the safest money available because it'd be issued by us, the European Central Bank. 2. You could pay digitally in physical shops or online across all euro area countries. And 3. Your privacy would be protected to the greatest extent possible. In fact, the ECB is not interested in what you pay for. We wouldn't have access to the personal data of the people making the payments. Want to know more? Click on the link.
I don't believe them. I don't believe them at all. And then why are they doing this? Well, let's take a look at what Opti's ex-girlfriend has to say.
Where do we stand? We central bankers, we have been operating as a monetary anchor in relation to the commercial banks and the private money. If we are not in that game, if we are not involved in experimenting, in innovating in terms of digital central bank money, we risk losing the role of anchor that we have played for many, many decades. And we have historical examples of period where the central bank monetary anchor was not there, and that precipitated crisis after crisis. That certainly was the case at the time of the free banking in the 19th century. Do we want to go back to those days? Probably not. I would say certainly not from our vantage point, as a result of which we have to respond to the demand for those digital payments in order to maintain the role of anchor that we have been playing regularly.
I don't know about you guys, but like, fuck their anchor, bro. That shit sucks. But no, seriously, it's so funny. They try to play the Zoomer type of thing where they do a vertical video and it's like, use our CBDC currency. It's great. They do like the cutting frame and the thing. And then like, she's like getting up from a seat to like make it seem organic, but it totally doesn't feel like it's organic. But yeah, what are the claims that she made? She's like, we will respect your privacy. The other one was, this is the safest money, you could trust. You could trust us, the European Central Bank. And then like a response to Chrissy, right? It's like, look, like, I don't know about you guys, but I don't trust that. Like, I don't, central banking hasn't served me, right? Maybe if you are an owner of assets like, real estate, equities, whatever, but the vast majority of people, especially if you're under the age of 35, this system hasn't served you very, very well, right? So like perhaps they want to talk about, maintaining their own moat and maintaining their privileges. But, the rest of us, I just want to use money that doesn't steal from me. I want money that isn't designed to lose purchasing power over time. That's what I want, right? This isn't about the efficiency of payments as much as they would like to distract you on what the actual revolution is. The actual revolution is individuals being able to save without the fear of wealth confiscation. Either that's through inflation or tyrannical government. That's what it's about. They always avoid that. They always avoid that conversation. It's not about efficiency of payments. It's about inflation, It's about the fact that money shouldn't steal from you. Anyways, Leron, what are your thoughts? And then we'll pass it on to Opti.
I mean, I think technology-wise, of course, it's going to be the natural evolution. They want to do fast payments, whatever it is that they're trying to do. But it's the narrative. That's what gets me about this all, is like they're trying to kind of latch onto this narrative, this, whatever crypto narrative, whatever they're trying to do. But it's this like weird narrative, and then throwing in privacy in there, like private from who exactly? Yeah, maybe there's some sort of privacy enhancements built in there, but not from the governments. That's for sure. There's no way that they're building privacy directly into that. And like you mentioned, it's just what are they solving? Instead of trying to solve the issue that we are seeing globally with these banking crises, these banks are melting due to these policies. They're focusing on this like, oh, we got to make it fast, and we got to do this, and we got to do that, and that's not the issue that we're having today in the economy. Is quick payments, So
100%. And like, that's what they want you to focus on. It's like, it's about the payments. No, Chrissy, it's not about the payments. Anyways, Opti, what are your thoughts on this, bro?
Well, first and foremost,
what did you do to her? What did you do to her that she's so vengeful?
First and foremost, shouts out to everyone in the chat. I'm getting trolled heavy right now. But anyways, in regards to the video, I think it's very interesting to see the narrative stance that they're taking here. The digital euro, safest currency. It's all about quick digital payments. Verbatim quote, "We're not interested in what you pay for." Like, the fact that they have to, what I say it all the time, nothing is more official than the official denial. And as anyone of us Bitcoiners that know and follows along with what's going on, it is very clear that this is exactly what they want. I mean, Christine Lagarde said it herself, we risk losing the role of anchor, AKA they risk losing control. So what does that mean to anyone that still has a working brain? It's that literally they want to know everything you're doing with your money so that they can shut you off of the system if you don't behave correctly, back to the whole social credit score stuff that they're trying to push out on everyone. The fact that it seems, I'm being, a little hopeful. It seems like there's a controlled demolition in the financial system right now so that they can push you towards a CBDC. And, you put those two things together, social credit score with a money that they fully control, ring out all the Zoomers you want. But I think people inherently understand, or at least will understand, that, hey, there is Bitcoin and there is slavery. And if you're falling into the CBDC trap, you're falling into the ease of convenience, you may be losing a lot more than, just paper money going into the future. You might probably be losing everything about your current life and all the freedoms that you enjoy. Like, I hate falling into, and I keep forgetting what the law is. I think it's, I'm not even going to attempt to name the law, but assuming that everyone is working nefariously or, with evil intentions, I think sometimes it's something that us Bitcoiners always fall into. I really do believe that these people think they're doing what is best for the economy. Obviously, they have their own biases and they're doing what's best for themselves and their friends. But I really do think that the hubris always seeps out in these conversations. And they're like, this is what's the best for all of us because, what's good for me is good for you. And as a Bitcoiner, someone that is very big on individualism, it's like, look, all right, I understand where your bias is coming from. Yes, your life will get dismantled. You should be worried about risking losing control because that opens up a whole new world for all of us as Bitcoiners. And that's the world that we want to see. It's a world that we don't have a small group of people controlling us. And, that's terrifying for these people. And they can pull out all the propaganda they want. But, hey, we will continue to counter the flood.
It's some good propaganda, bro. It's some good. They're trying to move with the times. They got the shorties, they got the vertical videos. They got clearly it's a script. It's prepared. We won't spy on you. You could trust us. Central bank money is the safest money around. It's all, they're getting with the times, bro. They're getting with the times, bro. The mematics are catching up to us, dude. Oh, man. Anyways, everybody, let's get to news. Speaking of vertical videos. Anyways, let's check it out.
The Daily News.
The Daily News is brought to you by Blockstream Jade, built by Bitcoiners for Bitcoiners. It's an open source hardware wallet for the cold storage of Bitcoin. Check out the brand new limited edition color, the transparent green jade. Blockstream Jade houses a full color camera, allowing for fully air-gapped Bitcoin transactions, scan and display QR codes directly on the device, assign transactions, and verify addresses with ease. Use your Blockstream Jade with your favorite wallet software, such as Blockstream Green, Blue Wallet, Electrum, Sparrow. Get yourself a Blockstream Jade today and take self-custody of your Bitcoin. Boom. Opti's laughing. Anyways.
No, I'm laughing because I'm getting destroyed in the chat, bro.
Oh, man. Okay, so let's talk about this. The infamous Restrict Act introduced by Senator Mark Warner, a Democrat from Virginia. The name of the bill specifically is called S686. It was also introduced by Senator Thune, Senator Baldwin, Senator Fisher, Senator Manchin, Senator Moran, Senator Bennett, Senator Mullivan, Senator Gillibrand, Senator Collins, Senator Heinrich, Senator Romney, and Senator Capto. Maybe I pronounced that incorrectly. Anyways, I want to read you a passage that a Bitcoiner was kindly enough to highlight. Shout out BitPain. It goes on to say, if the Restrict Act or quote unquote TikTok ban passes, it will be used to attempt a ban on Bitcoin. Have any of you actually read the text of this bill? This isn't about TikTok. This gives the executive branch total control to police the internet. Wake up. Goes on to say, in general, the secretary, in consultation with the relative executive department and agency heads, is authorized to and shall take action to identify, deter, disrupt, prevent, prohibit, investigate, and otherwise mitigate, including by negotiating, entering into, imposing, and enforcing any mitigation measure to address any risk arising from any covered transaction by any person or with respect to any property subject to the jurisdiction of the United States that the secretary determines. It goes on to say, possesses an undue or unacceptable risk, sabotage or subversion of design, integrity, manufacturing, production, distribution, installation, operation, or maintenance of information and communications technology, products, and services in the United States. B, catastrophic events on the security, resilience of the critical infrastructure or digital economy of the United States. Like, you know, how could you say that this won't be used against Bitcoin? Like, it's like the language is damning. Shout out to No BS Bitcoin. Did a great job summarizing a lot of the points in the bill. So this dropped March 27, 2023. It says Restrict Act, a sweeping national security TikTok ban includes $250K fine if you access a banned site or service. The Restrict Act has been garnering bipartisan momentum in the Senate, as well as backing from the Biden administration. This is the same Biden administration that we know how they feel about Bitcoin. As a workable solution to address the emergent risk posed by foreign information, communications, and technology products and services to national security. The legislation calls on the Secretary of Commerce to, quote, take action to identify, deter, disrupt, prevent, prohibit, investigate, and otherwise mitigate dealings involving U.S. persons and technology from countries believed to pose a risk to national security or organizations under their control. The bill identifies 6 foreign adversaries at present: China, Cuba, Iran, North Korea, Russia, and Venezuela. A foreign government or regime is designated as a foreign adversary if the secretary finds that it is, quote, is engaged in a long-term pattern or serious instances of conduct significantly adverse to the national security of the United States or security and safety of the United States persons. The term transactions means any acquisition, importation, transfer, installation, dealing in, or use of any information or communications technology product or service, including ongoing activities such as managed services, data transmission, software updates, repairs, or the provision of data hosting services, or a class of such transactions. The Restrict Act authorizes the U.S. government agencies to block technology deemed an undue or unacceptable risk to national security. That technology includes, quote, apps already on our phones, important parts of internet infrastructure, and software that underpins critical infrastructure. If they have access to sensitive personal data or more than 1 million people in the US, they're covered by this bill. The new bill also covers emerging technologies, including artificial intelligence, quantum computing and communications, biotechnology, and e-commerce. The Attorney General may bring an action in an appropriate district court of the United States for appropriate relief, including declaratory and injunctive or divestment relief against any person who violates this act or any regulation, order, direction, mitigation measure, prohibition, or other authorization or directive issued under this act. The U.S. Department of Justice presumably will be a key law enforcement partner for the Secretary of Commerce. The Restrict Act outlines unlawful acts that can result in civil or criminal penalties. Those unlawful acts include both direct violations of, quote, any regulation, order, direction, mitigation measure, prohibition, or other authorization or directive issued under it. Holy cow. I mean, dude. I don't see how this won't, like, if they're in a pickle, if the key word, I think the key word there is if they're in a pickle, if they're in a pinch, what's to stop them to say, if you're using money that helps or stops you from being stolen from via inflation, that's not a threat to national security. Keep in mind, right? Remember what happened in the 30s with the 6102 order, right? You know, because the U.S. was in an emergency, so to speak, right, during the Great Depression, FDR, you know, made it illegal for American citizens to hold a metal, to hold gold, right? So, I mean, is it too crazy to say that they'll say, hey, having a Bitcoin wallet on your phone, we already know what the wording from Elizabeth Warren was like, basically saying, hey, look at Russia. They're using Bitcoin to facilitate international trade. They're circumventing U.S. sanctions using an open monetary network. Who's to say that, you know, who's to say that they won't turn around and use the powers that are in this bill that give the executive branch, give a lot, to be frank, an unelected bureaucrat, because the Secretary of Commerce, I don't think she's elected or he's elected, right? They're appointed by the president. They give them, you know, a tremendous amount of power, and they look, this app is okay. This app is not okay. The wording there is so all encompassing. This is crazy. This is a huge overreach. And I don't think it's a coincidence that they included wording in that bill that can encompass Bitcoin. I don't think that's a coincidence, right? Especially with the things that we know are happening with Operation Choke Point 2.0. Anyways, that's my take. Maybe I'm a paranoid Bitcoiner, but Liron, do you see what we see, or are we just crazy?
No, I mean, I absolutely do. You made a perfect point. I mean, it's far overreaching, and it's not, there's nothing specific in the bill that targets, you know, specific company or specific action or specific anything like that. Like you mentioned, it's an unelected official. It's an administration that gets to decide, you know, what is okay and what is not okay on the internet. We're effectively, you know, the thing that we've been attacking China for so long, the Great Wall of China, Great Firewall of China, and all this stuff, freedom of speech, we're not doing the same thing to our own people. And we're fining the people that we want to protect if they happen to want to access whatever information is deemed not okay. And it's sad. It's sad to see all of the work that's been put, even by parts of the, you know, the U.S. government themselves. Tor came out of you know, the U.S. government effectively initially, and it's sad to see the idea of freedom just being torn away from us. There are definitely problems with TikTok. It's the same problems that we have with Instagram, with Facebook. It's the problem that we face with these big social companies and the governments that have actually empowered them. But you don't hear them speaking up against that. There were a couple, I did listen to the testimony, and there are a couple of government officials that did mention something about that, that it is similar and that we should have protections or whatnot. But it's just sad to see them go down this road. It really is. I don't think this will end up passing. I hope, you know, maybe I'm just being, you know, optimistic. But yeah, it's if this actually passes, it's very sad day for freedom, the internet, everything, not just Bitcoin, but, you know, everything.
100%. And I completely agree with you, but, you know, it will be turned. Like with that wording, are you trying to tell me that, you know, if Bitcoin actually threatens, you know, the US dollar, right? And the tremendous amount of power that the US government gets from basically being the world reserve currency, basically, weaponizing the dollar. It's kind of backfiring on them a little bit. But not only that, being able to print money and pay for anything they want, basically. If Bitcoin becomes a threat to that, as more countries choose to use a neutral money, right, that cannot be weaponized, right? Who's to say that the U.S. government won't use this type of wording to, go after it? I mean, look, this has happened before. This isn't just me talking out of thin air. We all know what happened with the Patriot Act, right? Everyone was super enthusiastic passing the Patriot Act because of what happened in 9/11. And then it was only, a decade or two later that we know that parts of the Patriot Act were being used to target American citizens, right? A lot of justifications for the spying of American citizens, right? So this type of bill is the same thing. It starts off with good intentions, and then before you know it, 5 to 10 years later, they're using that language or that power given to them by this bill to go after American citizens, right? So, this is very scary stuff. But I think it was someone who mentioned in the chat earlier, right? No, I think it was shout out Morpheus, right? It's like this might happen, in the US, right? But hey, Bitcoin is a global phenomenon. And one of the things that, one of the powers that Bitcoin gives you, if you take self-custody, of course, is it gives you the power not only to vote with your wallet, but to vote with your feet, right? I always make a joke with Opti. I'm like, look, we're going to hold it down. We're going to fight our asses off to hold it down here in the States. But if all else fails, Opti and I, El Simple Bitcoin live from El Salvador, right? Straight up. No, you like, I'm making a joke, but I'm dead serious at the same time, right? So anyways, Opti, what are your thoughts on this, bro?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think the idea that the Restrict Act is worse than the Patriot Act is something that, as Bitcoiners, we are all very hyper focused on, because it's really the second order effects here that are the most concerned and what people should be concerned about. Because people say that TikTok is Chinese spyware or used maliciously by China, but banning apps and banning software is a dangerous precedent, in my opinion, especially considering we are the land of the free. And, hey, I do not want to see what the future effects will be 10 years down the line, like Nico said, in regards to what we saw about the Patriot Act. So, further proof, I think, that the powers that be want to control your behavior. They want to control information because they have lost that control. And, hey, I may not be the biggest TikTok fan, but I don't think that using the boogeyman or the guise of the big bad Chinaman or the Russia man is the correct way to move forward with these apps and softwares. Again, of course, they're using the tried and true rolled out FUD of this is a threat to national security. Anytime I hear that, my antennas go up, and I'm like, okay, this is very scary here. I think I need to pay attention. And again, I mean, in one of those points from No BS Bitcoin, it just said what? Transactions is all data transmission. So obviously this is a lot bigger than just about TikTok. Again, TikTok is just being used as the boogeyman here because they aren't getting that much favorable PR lately because of this whole connection with China. But I mean, personally, this just sounds like a First Amendment violation, again, under the guise of the boogeyman. This is some Cold War level FUD we are seeing here in the modern world in regards to software. And again, if you go to the inevitable end of this, it's only a matter of time until this is used against Bitcoin. But hey, anyways, boomers write down words expecting us to stop using software. What's new? I'm not surprised. Really like some of the comments in the chat, they're trying to ban TikTok. We should ban politicians. But hey, I am not, we're not going to that level. But it's just very interesting to see where the powers that be are angling the conversation now. And it's back to what we continuously cover on the show. This is dystopian level tyranny right now. And they are passing it under the guise of this is for you. This is for your good, citizen. Trust us. We have what's best. We have your best intentions in mind. And when have we ever wronged you? And it's man, I really just get out of my behavior, please. Just stop trying to help me because you continue to
connect this with the TikTok that was made for the central bank digital currency in Europe, right? You could trust us. This is the most trusted money. We will not spy on your transactions, but then when you're not looking, right, they're also trying to pass this language, right? So it's like, I don't trust them. I don't trust them. They haven't behaved in a way for me to be like, oh, these are good people, right? They've behaved in dude, honestly, not everyone, there's some people in the government that are dope, right? But a lot of people are just like, dude, they've behaved disgustingly, man. I don't want endless wars anymore. I want to be able to use the money that doesn't steal from me. And I also want to be able to use the money that's not going to be weaponized against me because I have certain political beliefs. That's what we're fighting for. That's what we believe. And it's crazy that there's people that don't want you to use the money that doesn't steal from you, or they want you to use the money of which they can't control, of which they can't surveil. And that to me is absolutely absurd that we live in that type of world. But I mean, look, every day more and more people wake up, and this is why we're here. Anyways, Michael Lenardi has a comment. Definitely an overreach. Whether this pass or not is not the issue. This is clearly about moving the Overton window, getting us used to imposing on our rights. Very sad. They've been doing that for quite a while, to be honest, brother. So anyways, it's crazy stuff, but I'm excited for, Mr. Robot. All TikTok data gets stored in Oracle. Who runs Oracle? NSA has nothing to do with China. Okay. Anyways, everybody, let's get to the culture. I'm excited to see what Opti's going to talk to Liron about. Let's check it out.
The Daily Culture.
Brought to you by SwanBitcoin.com. Swan is the best way to build your Bitcoin stack with automated Bitcoin savings plans and instant purchases, serving clients of any size from $10 to $10 million. We love Swan because they incentivize self-custody and dollar cost averaging. What are you waiting for? Visit SwanBitcoin.com today. All right, everybody. I also want to tell you about Swan's new offer. Bitcoin is generational wealth, and you can secure your bright orange future. Hold on a second. 1 second. There we go. Bitcoin is generational wealth, and you can secure your bright orange future with the Swan IRA. Real Bitcoin, no taxes. Swan offers both traditional and Roth options to best fit your needs. Create your IRA and start adding Bitcoin in less than 1 minute. Transfers and rollovers are available. Swan's Bitcoin experts will get you set up with no transfer fees and no minimum balance requirements. This is real Bitcoin, non-ETF or other derivative. Get the real thing and get it at Swan. Go to swan.com/IRA for more details. And of course, you could always send me a Twitter DM if you have any questions. And we're talking about all this crazy stuff, the peaceful revolution. But none of this matters if you don't take proper custody of your Bitcoin. And there's no better place to do it than the BitPlates Domino. BitPlates Domino are deserved to preserve Bitcoin wallet backup seed phrases and passphrases made from highly corrosion-resistant 316 marine-grade stainless steel, offering the ultimate protection against extremes of temperatures. 10% off all BitPlates products using promo code SIMPLY. Visit bitplates.com today. Anyways, Opti, what are we going to talk about, brother?
Well, Liron has been very quiet on Twitter, and I'm guessing I saw some of your tweets. And what do you call them on Nostr? What are they called on Nostr? Notes. Yeah. And that you just been very busy putting your head down and working. And one of the last tweets that we saw, especially the last time you were on here, is DIDs, digital identity, and Ion change everything. This is what makes me hopeful for the future of the web. So I asked you earlier, what have you been working on? What do you want to talk about? And you said Web 5 and Nostr. So what's going on in the DID segment right now of the web cyberspace right now? So anything new on that front? What you been working on lately, bro?
Yeah, so I've always been interested into DIDs, decentralized identity. I think that's kind of the core of these issues that we've been talking about today with TikTok. It's like if you own where you can be found and your data can be found and not some corporation, then it takes a lot of this away from the power of the corporations or even the central government in that case. So that's to me what decentralized identity is really all about. DIDs is just a format that computers can understand to read a specific type of decentralized identifier. And there's all sorts of different types. There's one that is backed by the Bitcoin blockchain known as Ion. It's one that I've been more involved in the past couple of years. But there are other methods, and there's actually one that's being proposed to work directly with Nostr. So your DID operations, your identity operations to update your identity all happen on Nostr. So that's kind of interesting to see and see how that'll kind of play out. But yeah, it's been really amazing just to see people kind of migrate over to this type of decentralized platform and starting to get the hang of it, starting to see, drawbacks to it as well, with all these different relays and all these different things. It's another form of technology to learn and understand that works a little bit different than the social technologies that we're used to. So it's really beautiful to see a huge community growing and people getting excited about this, and people, managing their keys once again, something that Bitcoin did to technology that we haven't seen in a very long time, what Bitcoin did to people managing their own cryptographic keys. So I think this is just an extension of that, and we're going to continue to see, a lot of work and a lot of expansion in that space.
Absolutely love it. So what's your thoughts on Nostr, bro? Do you think it's going to start to take up some of the network effects for social media platforms?
I do. I think, it's hard to tell what timing looks like. Obviously right now, the Nostr network is mostly built of people that are Nostr enthusiasts, a lot of Bitcoiners, some shitcoiners, unfortunately, but hey, they're part of the world, they exist. So they're going to be on there as well. But I'm excited to see what the next thing would be to kind of propel that forward into other communities. I think, Zaps was a huge thing that obviously brought a lot of people there because now they can, tip people and do all these things. And, we're going to see more Substack-like situations happening. But yeah, I'm interested to see kind of different demographics starting to get onto Nostr, because the beauty of Nostr is you can subscribe to specific relays, and it's almost like you're segmented out from other relays. So we're going to be seeing, I feel like, these different micro applications and pockets of communities develop around Nostr, and it's going to be great to see the internet decentralized again. I can use my favorite app to access my favorite feed, and you can use your favorite app to access your favorite feeds, and somewhere in there we intersect.
Love it. What Nostr app are you using right now? I'm an iPhone maxi, so I'm using the Damus app. But what are you using? I saw you're using like every single one on Nostr. You're saying you're plugged into every single one of them.
Yeah, I mean, I've experimented with nearly all of them. I like to see how different clients handle different things. The experience a little bit different. I've probably been on Snort the most, probably also because I've contributed a little bit to Snort. It was just the easiest project to contribute to, and it's grown a lot. Everything in Nostr right now has bugs. We all have experienced it, but that's actually it's such a beautiful, interesting thing. Is like, despite of all these bugs and despite of all the UX issues, all of you guys are continuing to use it, which is it's incredible. It's great to see that, and I think that type of feedback cycle is what's going to make these products great. And I've seen all of them improve little by little, by adding whatever features their own user base are really, care about. So it's really great to see.
Absolutely love it. All right, I'm going to kind of switch gears a little bit, but LeRon, what has you most excited in the Bitcoin space in general, whether it's Nostr, whether it's what you're working on, DIDs, or any other topic in regard to the Bitcoin space right now? I know you are a little more technical than Nico and I, so you can take this wherever you want.
I mean, I don't know if there's anything, specific, like technically, that I'm excited about. There is a lot of technical work happening behind the scenes and a lot of interesting proposals, on the mailing list and work happening. But I'm just excited, I think, of this whole movement continuing. It's different things are being built with Bitcoin. Nostr is a perfect example. It wasn't built on top of Bitcoin, but it utilized Bitcoin's decentralized feature to add that payment layer to it. So I'm just excited to see these types of technologies expand, and I'm excited to see people understand why it matters. And we saw, with the bank run that just recently happened, all these bank runs. It's really interesting to see that, what most people that were going to be affected by these banks were using them for was simply just to store money and transact. That's it. I'm not talking about the loans and all that stuff. That's the core base of what they were using it for. And I mean, that's what Bitcoin does. And we already have that. So I think more people are starting to realize what the utility is of something like Bitcoin, something that's decentralized, something that you don't have to trust who's holding your funds and what they're doing with it, regardless of the promises they make. So on the Bitcoin end, I think that's great to just see people expand on that and understanding those ideas and really feeling them. And on the technology end, just seeing all these different projects, develop is great.
Love it. Okay, I'm going to do the flip side of that conversation. What is the latest Bitcoin controversy that really grinds your gears?
All right, one that grinds my gears. So the ordinal stuff, and I think this might be
I'm glad you
surprising.
brought this up. I was going to ask you.
So, all right, I've always been a big hater of NFTs, and I still am. I think NFTs are kind of stupid in many, many, many ways. But the thing that I think was most stupid about NFTs was not the fact that they exist or that we tie some hash to some picture or whatever it is that you're doing. That really wasn't it. It was the constant grift of like, this is going to be worth so much and trade this, and if you hold this in a new class of asset and this and that. And I don't know. I'm not as involved in the NFT space as a whole, so I don't know if ordinals. I mean, I'm sure a subset of ordinals is trying to do that as well. But I think just storing data in the blockchain is okay. So I don't really care for all this bickering back and forth and people, upset the mempool is full. I'm happy that the mempool is full. We've wanted, the mempool and fee rate to happen for so long, and ordinals is just a small, stupid, blimp in that road. I think that ordinals eventually probably won't be very popular and won't fill up the mempool like they do today. But there will be something else that does, and that is a good thing. So I'm just happy to see more people building, more people experimenting, more people being excited about this decentralized network that we have. And so I guess that's my controversial opinion about ordinals.
Love it, bro. I'm glad that you took the conversation there because I did have it like that was kind of where I wanted to go. All right, the next thing I noticed on your Twitter is that you have been going back and forth a lot with the Lightning Network. So what is your thoughts on the Lightning Network currently? How has it come along? Will the Lightning Network scale Bitcoin, I think is what everyone's out there asking. So what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so Lightning is a great technology. I use it all the time. Full disclosure, I no longer run my own node. I know that's not, that's not what you're supposed to do with Lightning, whatever. It was just too much work for me personally to lock that money in there and just have it on a hot wallet. So I just use it for small funds. I'm not a business that's accepting Lightning. I don't really need to run my own node. For Lightning, I do run my own Bitcoin node, guys. Just wanted to make that clear. So I use Phoenix and things like that. But I think that there's some great work, a lot of great projects going on to Lightning. Just recently, the spec has included some features that allow inbound payments to be more private. So, because right now, when you send a payment, you know who you're sending it to. So that's going to be a really, really great improvement to the network. I'm just really excited to continue seeing the growth of it. It will be the payment rails of the future, whether it's the way that we see Lightning running today or a different form of, channel aggregator or whatever it may be. I think that this network is going to grow and morph into being the payment rails that we use. So yeah, I'm loving it. I think some people are like, oh, Lightning's failing. I haven't experienced that. I use it all the time and it works for me.
Yeah, agreed 100%. And you kind of mentioned it. Do you think, and again, you pretty much said it, but do you think that a lot of the custodial Lightning controversy is just kind of like FUD, or is it people making mountains out of molehills, or is this something that we really should be concerned moving towards the future?
I think there should be some concern there. So the wallet that I use is Phoenix, so it's still, I am in control of my keys. There's subtleties there, of course, that they're in control of some things there, especially with dust limits and things like that. But that is my personal trade-off where I am okay with that, so they can censor my payments until I close a channel. That's kind of my option there, but I still have that option, so they can't fully censor me. I don't love custodial Lightning wallets because obviously it's custodial, but everyone has their own threat model, so to speak. So if you're only using Lightning for really small amounts and you can continue to sweep it out either into your own node or into actual Bitcoin transactions that go on chain, then do that. You don't have to run your own infrastructure per se. But if you're a creator, or if you're a business, or if you're someone like that that's really just continuously earning an income or using Lightning in a very heavy way, then yeah, maybe it is, better for you to run your own infrastructure, hire someone, do, whatever it is that you need to do to protect your funds a little bit more. But for me personally, I keep a couple $100 on my Phoenix wallet. I use it to just pay people when we're splitting meals or doing whatever it is that we're doing. I refill it every once in a while. I also I have a Get Alby email address, which is completely centralized, for Alby that I use for my LN URL. And I just sweep that every so often into Phoenix. And if it ever gets large in Phoenix, I sweep it off the on-chain. That's kind of my my flow. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, I'd kind of agree with you on that one. One last question. What are your favorite mobile Bitcoin wallets, Lightning or just on-chain? Because I try to get I always try to just push people towards their favorite wallets. I know first step, I know best practices, get yourself a hardware wallet. But for most people, the initial dive into self-custody is most likely going to be on their phone. So for the newbies out there, for someone just getting into the Bitcoin space, what wallets would you recommend on their mobile phones?
So I would probably go with Phoenix. I think Phoenix is really good. It's Lightning first, but it does have an on-chain capability so that you can pay on-chain payments, you can receive from on-chain. They do some things with zero confirmation where they take on a little bit of a risk in order for you to be able to transact quicker and not wait for that channel open confirmation. I think they provide a really good UX for both advanced users and for the newbies. Another wallet that I really like is Green. I think Green Wallet has really done a good job in adding features and kind of working towards a lot of new things. Their work on Jade and everything like that together, they've really tried to make it simple and have a slightly different approach to their custody model, which I think has some really great benefits and security for new users. So those are kind of, I think, my favorite too.
Guys, full disclosure, we did not pay Liron to say this. Blockstream is one of our sponsors, but this was his thoughts. Okay, guys.
Swear.
All right. Well, Liron, any last thoughts, and then we'll move into the meme review.
Just happy to be on. It's always fun to be with you guys here, and seeing everybody in the chat. And yeah, everyone just keep stacking and stay safe out there.
Let's go. Actually, I have one more question. What are you working on? What are you working on currently?
So right now, the main thing that I'm working on is I'm working on identity management, focusing a little bit on Nostr. So what does identity management mean? You may have multiple Nostr personas that you want to manage. I want to make that kind of easy for you to do in one place. So working a little bit of that, also working on a little bit of how to discover things on Nostr a little bit better, how to back up and store your data that's really important to you a little bit better. So these are the kind of things that I've been researching, been contributing a little bit to open source, but the past couple of months, it's been private work, but it will be open source in the next few months, hopefully.
Love it, bro. Well, can't wait to see your work come out into the surface soon. Anyways, guys, let's get into the meme review.
The Daily Meme Review.
Brought to you by Kaboom Racks. I get this question all the time. Nico, where should I buy Bitcoin miners? The answer is Kaboom Racks. It's the best place to buy Bitcoin miners. That's where you're going to find the best deals and the best prices. Start your mining utopia today. To check out their racks, you got to go to t.me/Kaboom Racks. Join their Telegram group and start your mining journey today. Kaboom Racks. Kaboom. Kaboom.
All right, guys, you already know this is the meme review. This is your favorite portion of the show where
Kaboom.
we review your memes
Kaboom.
that you sent me on Twitter,
Kaboom.
that you gave us in the Telegram. Tag us, continue to propagate the memes because we are in an information war. Tweets are the bullets, memes are the artillery. And what better tool in our arsenal than having the truth on our side and putting them in digestible bits for people to devour and start to understand why we do what we do. Get the calls of actions out there. Make sure that we are ridiculing the corporate press with humor and also spreading the Bitcoin signal. Anyways, this first meme brought to you by the BTC therapist. It goes, #BTC maximalists are always right. And we got the play on the Reaper knocking on the door meme. Shouts out to Rope. I think he might have been the first one to propagate this meme. And it goes, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. And we got the Reaper knocking on doors. And we got what do we got over here? Solana. Someone's head's on the floor. We got Ethereum with Vitalik's head on the floor. We got Celsius with...
This is metaphoric, okay? This is a piece of art.
This is art, yeah. Celsius with Mashinsky head on the floor. We got the Luno. Okay. We got FTX. And now we got the Reaper knocking on Binance's door. If you guys have heard the news, it sounds like Binance is getting sued for having a bunch of trading accounts trading against their users. And on that point, we got this meme by Will Clemente, and he goes, CZ trading on all his accounts. And we got a picture of CZ, one looking like a girl, and then the next one he's got Nico's beard, and the next one he's got Nico's hair, and the next one he's got the glasses and the nose, the fake nose.
He's got Opti's glasses.
He's got my glasses hiding on the platform, trading against his customers.
If Opti had a mustache, that's what he'd look like.
If only. I can't grow a mustache. Okay, anyways, this next meme is by RD_BTC, and he goes, just a matter of time, #Bitcoin. And it's a SpongeBob meme, and we got Squidward in a box like a homeless person. Fiat millionaires after hyper Bitcoinization. And then we got SpongeBob with laser eyes as, upper class, echelon, elite, noble person that he is. And it's a Satoshi millionaire after hyper Bitcoinization. This is the way, guys. I dropped the meme over I think it was this weekend, or no, Monday, that, there's more millionaires than there is 21 million Bitcoin. So if you know, you better hold on to them coins that you have today. This next one is by @Ronin21BTC, and he goes, #Bitcoin fire content emoji, fire emoji, and it's a play on the Drake meme, but we got a cool girl here with sunglasses, and she's doing the system is broken and must be fixed, and then she does the yes to the system is working exactly as intended and must be destroyed, and this is why we Bitcoin. This is the way. Okay, the next one is by @PubLordHodl, as we covered yesterday. Sailor is taking up all the Bitcoin. He's scooping all the coin. And, everyone was giving him shit for a while there, saying that he's going to get liquidated. Anyway, PubLord goes, the Sailor Show goes on. And I don't know what show this is from, but this meme's been going around. We got, is this Nicolas Cage? Yeah, Nicolas Cage looking at, I don't know what this guy's name is, but so how was that margin call? And he's got the crazy face. I paid back the loan early at a discount and bought more Bitcoin. This is the way. Continuously stack Bitcoin. Okay, this next one is by @TheCooge on Twitter, and he goes, Inverse Kramer, #Bitcoin, @KramerTracker, and we got Kramer on ahead of an old, I'm guessing, one of our ancestors in the early 1900s, and goes, I'd sell my gold into this rally. I was once a believer in gold, but not here in Weimar, not now. And behind it, it's got the Weimar chart and, the inverse Kramer telling you to sell your gold. But really, what he's saying is Kramer telling you to sell your Bitcoin right now as we are pumping. He's, the inverse Kramer is just continuously making people rich. Anyways, this next and last meme is by @Lawrence Lepard. Shouts out to Lawrence, and, shouts out to him for being a hard money advocate, been in the fight for a long time. But I really like this meme. This is a play on a classic meme template where someone says he's at a hotel and he goes, I would like a wake-up call, please. And the teller goes, the Federal Reserve wants to take over all private bank accounts and manage them through a social credit system. Yes, this is the truth and the way. Wait, what is this tracker on the bottom? Wow, getting wrecked, sabotaged in real time. Okay. Anyways, drop your meme review score in the chat as we covered ours live.
Breaking news, everybody. For audio listeners who's not tuning in. Chrissy and Opti are talking again. She saw the segment live.
Cap.
And she texted him.
No, once I take the trash out, I do not get caught digging in the trash.
Oh, man.
Okay, my meme review score for today. This is a first for me. It is a cherry tomato. I don't even like tomatoes, but I'm going to eat it.
Eat it. Very good. Very good. Okay. I got a good score. I'm going to give it a glass Coke bottle, but it's the level below the Mexican Coke because this still uses high fructose corn syrup. If you want real Coca-Cola, you have to get the Mexican Cokes. It's the only Coca-Cola that uses cane sugar Coke. I mean cane sugar. Yeah, cane sugar. Anyways, guys, go ahead, Leron.
Score this one. My score is it's a YubiKey.
Ooh, I know exactly solid. What that is. That's a step above 2FA, right?
Yeah.
That's a step above the code.
Yeah. This is the way to protect your information, guys.
That's the way. That's the way. Anyways, guys, make sure to subscribe to our audio version of this show. Anchor, Spotify, Apple, Fountain. Shout out to so much of you guys giving us love on Fountain. Been consistently in the top 50, man, for a couple months now. It wouldn't be possible without all you guys. We love you, and we really, really appreciate the support. Opti will remember to read out the comments.
On that note,
Friday.
I had the comments last Friday, but we just got caught up on the show that I read them in the spaces, but I have them. I will read them on Friday. If you guys want to remind me on Twitter before the show, I would highly enjoy that because, hey, I might forget again, but I'm trying not to forget.
I want to give a shout out to our clothing sponsor as well, Represent LTD. They make super stylish, comfortable clothing merch. They made this like wood piece of art. It's super cool. Only representltd.com. They also have Simply Bitcoin merch, most of which is sold out. Get yours while supplies last. Go to representltd.com. Use promo code simply-bitcoin. Opti. Let's get to some scores. All right, Mike Denver. I give the memes unregistered sats because taxation is theft. Ooh, bars. Next one. Elaine, score, mega orange pilling incoming due to government overreach and Christine Lagarde's obvious lies. Ooh. Frank Arn, I give this meme a heart for Opti and Chrissy sitting in a tree. Opti's Coke from McDonald's. Score, that special shade of blush red on Opti whenever Nico brings up Chrissy, Opti's ex-girlfriend.
Oh man, I'm getting wrecked.
Bitcoin Becca, I give the memes Nicolas Cage, greatest hit Blu-ray. Does he really have one? That's pretty cool. All right, next one. Andres, I rate these memes the impending AI human domination.
No, humans will win. Humans will win.
All right, last one and then the buzzer.
I think that's all we got.
It's because of the buzzer, bro.
It's
we stop when the buzzer. Anyways, check out the written version of this show, Simply Bitcoin Unfiltered. Go to simplybitcoin.news. Subscribe. It's absolutely free. And go check out Simply Bitcoin's Telegram group. Go to www.t.me/simplybitcointv. It's a party in there. Shout out to Darth Coin. He holds down a Telegram version of Twitter Spaces on the weekend. And I want to give a shout out to our very special guest. It's Liron. Liron, thank you so much for joining us on Simply Bitcoin Live. It's a little bit different live, right?
It is. I've really enjoyed it.
It's a little bit more gunzo, like, shoot from the hip, but we get it rolling. We really appreciate you coming us. Liron is Simply Bitcoin's official technical correspondent. He brings us on whenever we don't understand technical stuff. Opti and I understand the concepts pretty well. Opti's a culture guy. I'm a geopolitics guy. Liron is the technical guy. We always bring Liron on the show to explain to us what is going on in the Bitcoin space. So Liron, really appreciate you coming on today. Why don't you tell everybody where they could find you online and what you're working on these days?
Thanks, everybody. It's always fun, coming on the show with you guys. You can find me on Twitter. I'm not as active lately. It's Liron.
It's because he's building. Yeah. You
can always find me. You can also find me on Noster. Just search for It's Liron. I'm sure I'll come up in there. Been continuing to work on some interesting decentralized identity and data stuff.
Beautiful.
You guys will be able to check it out.
Decentralizing the internet.
Wait, Nico, sorry, I had to come in because Liron is literally doing this.
I am building.
Yep, exactly. Anyways, guys, we love you all. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Simply Bitcoin Live. If you enjoyed the show, you know what to do. Smash that like button. Consider subscribing if you feel like we provided you value. But the number one thing you could do to push the peaceful revolution forward is share this content. In fact, share all Bitcoin content. Love you all. And if you want to continue the party, we are hosting a spaces with our friends over at swan.com, swanbitcoin.com. Best place to build your Bitcoin stack. Shout out to the best producer in the game, producer Jacob. We love you all, and we'll see you tomorrow, 12:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for another episode of Simply Bitcoin Live.